Good day, good people. I am Dr. Hetheru, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Lessons for the Journey. The purpose of this podcast is to share insights and information on women's wellness, understanding our whys, and the lessons that inspire us and take positive actions with ourselves, our families, and our communities. Our topics focus on women's wellness, seeing through a metaphysical lens, sharing spiritual insights, highlighting lessons for the journey lessons, and building healthy relationships. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Hetheru. I share this space with engaging co-hosts that you'll meet today, a guest, inspiring topics every Friday at noon for a transformative 1-hour experience on Podcasting Live. You can expect deep, thought-provoking conversations on self-discovery and personal growth, special guests at location, events, people, polls, and thoughts, which we're going to engage you today with our phone lines open. You'll see the number pop up. Our co-hosts sharing wisdom and life-changing insights, a powerful blend of spiritual, metaphysical, and wellness lessons, and tools and strategies to help elevate your mind, your body, and your spirit. Our show is produced by Chantel Mosley of Podcasting Studios. Our co-hosts are Jada Rains, Ma'at Sabah, Mary Bayou, Nicole S. Miller, and special appearances by my favorite person, Dr. Calvin T. Mann. Our message to you, that is, if you're seeking clarity, healing, or personal empowerment, this podcast is for you. So we need for you to tune in, but we also want you to have a journal, a notebook, pen or pencil if you prefer, but something to take the notes that are going to help you help yourself and the insights that you're going to gain through this process. So we're going to jump right into our topic today. And again, our phone lines are open to you because we want to hear what your motherhood journey is. And so we are going to address our topic today, which is the journey of motherhood, overcoming, inspiring others with our stories. And so we always pose questions, and we also have a dialogue. Today I want to, just before we jump into the dialogue, we always have some questions. So I'm going to pose these questions to our co-host in the studio, and of course our producer Chantel, who's always eager to share some of her wisdom. I want to again encourage you to call in. So if you want to join in to the conversation, this question that you can answer, please join in with us. And the number is on the screen. It's 810-560-0658. The number again is 810-560-0658. I'm going to try to tell you a couple of more times throughout the show. So I'm going to write it down so I'll remember. Okay, 0658. Okay, so our opening question today. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, sure. All right, so this is question number 1. What was your most resilient moment with your mother or as a mother? Most resilient moment. I always put my on the spot first, so we're gonna.
I'm looking at her too. Like, what is it?
Ooh, most resilient.
Yes, where you really had to bounce back from a situation or a circumstance or an understanding. You know, I think with our motherhood journey, that especially when we're talking about our mothers, that, you know, there's lots of information they pour into us over the years. And we're just like, oh, you're not with the program. You don't understand the time. But when that lesson took time, and when it finally hit you, like, dang, she was right. I remember she told me this, and she was preparing me for this moment. And because she prepared me, now I get it. Or now I know I can get through it. Or now is that moment where I'm faced with that question. So that moment of resilience, like, I've been forewarned. You know, I'll give you one example from my mom. My mom would always say, when you have kids, you'll understand. Because what my challenge is that my mom treated all of us differently. So I have an older sister and I have a younger sister. But I was, at that time I was a teenager. I was sharing a room with my older sister. And my mother would always, it seemed to me, my mother was always taking her side. So my sister would read all the time. And so she would have the light on in the room. And I would say, Ma, we would go back and forth for, a couple of rounds of turn the light on, turn the light off, turn the light on, right? And so, of course, my sister always won that fight. And so I had to just put the pillow over my head. I had to adjust, and I would be crying, Mom, would you tell her to cut off the light? And my mom would say, you have to be the bigger person. You know how your sister is. You know she's going to read, and then eventually she's going to go to bed. She's going to turn off the light. I'm like, well, why do I have to wait? I'm in the bed. I'm ready to go to sleep. You just have to be the bigger person. You have to be patient. And that annoyed the hair off of my head. But as life went on, even at work, that message was still resonating in the back of my mind. And you would run into people who have different habits, who need different types of support or more time or more attention. And but that message was always ringing in the back of my head, like, you have to be the bigger person. Like, what does it take from you to extend some courtesy? Or we call it grace now. Everybody's extending grace to other people, right? And I would hear that. And then, you hear everybody else groaning and complaining. But I would think about, wow, it doesn't take much more to just extend the grace. Give them the grace. If they need to play their music, let them play their music. If they have to do this, give them the benefit of the grace. And it did prepare me. And every time I choose to do something different, and I know consciously it's a choice, I'm like, dang, she was really right. Because extending that grace allows you to practice that over and over and over again. So it helps you not to be so reactive when something happens, that you pause and you step back and you just give them the grace. And I think that was such an important tool that she poured into me, that for me, it helps me bounce back from responding. It helps me bounce back from having, my road rage. I have a better control over now.
Not you.
I'm like,
oh my gosh. But my road rage is a little bit different. It's when you see kids standing up and they don't have a seatbelt on. I want to run them off the road. I want to run them off the road, pull them over, take out a stick and say, put that baby in a seatbelt. Yeah, that's what does it for me. It does. I don't care about people cutting me off. I mean, I care, but that's not a big deal. Seeing that baby pop up and they bouncing around, oh my God, it just drives me a little bit. It pulls that string. I don't know how much grace I can extend on those things, but other than that, yes, that's my resilience story.
I think. Did you want to comb my hair?
No, you can.
I think that, listening to you talk, me and my mom are still developing in our most resilient moments. And one thing that I could say is I did watch Percy Jackson.
Oh,
The
you
Lightning.
did?
Yes,
Good.
I watched that. It was really, really good, and it made me realize a couple things about myself and about my mom. So if you don't know, the story is of the Greek gods, and the Greek gods and the mortals' kids is like a demigod. It's a whole thing, but the son would be so mad at his mom because she was putting up with certain things that he didn't align with what he thought she deserved, and come to find out she was just doing certain things to protect him. And in the relationship with my mom, I think sometimes I'm like, why are you doing this, or why is this like that? And I would not do this, or I would not do that. But as I get older and we're able to have these different conversations, I'm able to understand you did certain things for me or to protect me, or you didn't know, you're developing too as a woman. You're not just my mom, you are a woman. So you have different stages and things that you're going through as well. So definitely I feel the relationship with my mom is showing me different things, definitely myself, but a lot of things that just as you're younger, when you get older, you don't understand. And when you start going through different stages of womanhood and adulthood, you're like, oh, I get that. I understand that now. And you're able to have those conversations. So I'm grateful to be able to have that open communication with her to build those resilient moments, because sometimes it's like, I ain't agree with that, but we able to talk it out, and, you see like, okay, I understand your point of view, your perspective, for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Mom, do you have one either as a mom or with your mom?
Both.
Okay.
With my mom's not a person of a lot of words. She was, hers is more energetic, and I almost could read her thoughts. So we just had like this energetic connection. The resilience part, she was a nurse, but she had to end up leaving her passion to take care of her children for lack of proper child care. So she was a stay-at-home mom, and it was 4 of us. And at any given moment, there's 2 fighting at any given moment, and then we would just like switch up. So it's like it's drama all day, every day. I don't know how she did it. I couldn't have done it. But I never remember feeling judged. I never remember her saying a judgmental word. You could feel disappointment, and when you did something you shouldn't have done. So you could feel the disappointment, but I don't ever remember her saying anything to voice her disappointment. And if she did, it couldn't have been that traumatic, or I would have remembered that.
Right.
So that gave me the resilience to raise my children the same way, to have patience with them. And the most important thing with any child is to not judge them for what they do and the choices that they make. That is how you set the foundation for problems in the future. So I always felt it was important to not judge them. Now, all children, especially teenagers, when they fall into a certain time in their life, they're going to go through something, and they're going to put you through something. So being patient and loving them through that, and understanding that is a part of growth. All teenagers give their parents a challenge at some point in time. So her resilience of dealing with us, I don't know how she did it, but her lovingly guiding and raising us in a non-judgmental, loving way without harshness is what, to me, has set the foundation for my mothering. So
that's so awesome. I wish I could say that about myself. My non-judgment, my non-harshness. Yeah. Okay.
It's a process. I'm not saying maybe I've never done it, but I try to make sure that I don't, because that doesn't feel good.
Right. I tend to over-explain, and I tend to not being harsh, but trying to pull out the lesson. Let me show you this lesson so that this lesson doesn't have to be repeated. And it's like, Ma, I know. Yeah, that's what I get in return. Yeah. So for those of you who are out there listening and you have something burning that you like to share with us about your resilient mother moment, either with your mother or as a mother, you can reach out to us at 810-560-0658. So you're welcome to call in anytime. We're going to keep on chatting, and I do have a few more questions, but I do want to read this poem to you. This is one of my favorite poems. It's from the book From the Pyramids to the Projects by Askia Toure, and it's called Nzinga Revisited. And one of the inspiring things about this poem that I love is the imagery. I love that it shapes a moment in time for a woman and how she's being watched or seen, and she may not even know it. Her beauty is a natural part of who she is, and the more she lives her life to the fullest, the more her love grows, the more beautiful she becomes. And so this poem is called Nzinga Revisited. Mold me a face in gleaming bronze, a rare one, mobile, sensitive, strong, female and gentle with full lips and classical African features, nostrils chiseled from Yoruba forms. Place above it a crown of corn-rolled hair, adorn the ears with bright golden rings. Place gentle, placid eyes, large beneath arching brows. A glowing smile usually lightens his face. A beautiful African woman smiling or lost dreamy-eyed in precious thoughts. Bathe her in vermilion lights of a glowing sunset, shifting its colors to canary horizons beneath tangerine skies. She is walking at sunset in autumn, bathed in the day's dying brilliance. A tall, radiant beauty, adorned with kente robes above sandaled feet. Though this setting is not Africa, but North America. She is seed of the lost tribes in diaspora who formed a nation in the U.S. Southland. This tall, beautiful woman walking in autumn is a living miracle, a testament of a race's drive for survival. She is intelligent, artistic, lovely. She is modern, dedicated to her people's freedom, educated to know that it is a bitter, protracted struggle lasting centuries. She is determined that her children will drink from the cooling waters of that freedom and is sacrificing to make that dream a reality. She is building institutions, organizing, educating, demonstrating by example how a black woman should conduct herself, her life in this age of the U.S. empire falling. She is giving her all, her life, honor, energy, above all, undying love to make this black freedom blossom in the West. Black man, working your shift, fixing your car, walking your dog. I didn't mean to interrupt, but a few words in passing. Please know that she is the most vital, precious glory of your life. This woman was always yours, from the slave ships to the hot cotton fields and beyond. She is your dignity and the only Africa you'll ever know. Thank you.
It's powerful.
It's from the book, From the Pyramids to the Projects by Askia Toure. So it's an amazing book. It's a lot about what it means to live in the day and time that we're in. Mm-hmm. But that particular poem, I probably have had it for 30 years. But it's such an inspiration. Just the imagery and the image of a woman who's not even aware that she's being watched. And and I think that's common. So for so many of us, we don't really know that we're being watched and looked at by all people. For our example, for who we are, and each of us are so unique, and our beauty is our blueprint. And so I think that's another opportunity for us to celebrate ourselves. Another reason why womanhood and motherhood tied together is so super important. And so our expression of that and how we serve others with that same energy, using that same insight, I think that we are changing the world as we know it.
Definitely.
So, any thoughts? Anybody have a favorite poem that comes to mind for you? No? How about a scripture? Some people like the virtuous woman.
Proverbs 31 woman.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No? You guys, we got to get more artistic out here.
It's just trying to remember it.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
Yeah.
I know. Of course, I put you guys on the spot. That's what I do. That's what I do. Okay, so the second question for today is, when did you recognize you had similar traits as your mother? When did you recognize, and what is that trait? Similar traits as your mother. Chantel?
I'm ready. Just being like a natural giver. I feel like my mom is a person that just gives unapologetically. She's genuine, and she just always likes to help. And I kind of see me walking in her footsteps, or just following in her footsteps for different things that I do or people that I help. So that's one of the similar traits that I have. Just being really caring, really kind.
And you are.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So that's one of the biggest traits that I have picked up from my mom.
Okay. My aunt Jada. Okay, we're looking at Jada now.
I know. So for me, and I'm looking at my ex, I'm like, no, but for me, I don't know. I like have my dad's whole face, but like my heart posture is like the same as my mom's. Like, she is very, like Chantel was saying, she's very kind. I am very kind. It's like I have a little more boundaries than my mom has. I feel like I'm like, all right, but I'm very kind, and like my mom is a therapist, and I'm on the journey of becoming a life coach. So like our attitudes about mental health and emotional intelligence, like that's all built in from her. I know because she just kind of instilled that with me growing up. Like, it's important to express yourself. It's important to care about your mental health. You know what I mean? So I think that's definitely the kindness, and my heart posture is very, very similar to my mom, for sure.
Awesome.
I think mine would be being a servant. Like, mom has, I don't know if you want to call it a gift, but one of the things she does is, like, you could just be talking about, I saw this phone case, and it was so cute, and if she sees it, you don't think anything else about it. Next thing you know, she got it for you. And I'm thinking, I didn't say it for her to get it.
Yeah.
But that's what she does.
Very thoughtful.
And selfless, like, she's gonna make sure you eat before she eats. She would be more compelled to fix what you want to eat other than what she wants to eat. But everything is selfless and just giving, like the ultimate giver. And that, I think she enjoys that. It makes her happy for the people that she loves to be happy. So however it is that she can serve them, then that's what she's going to do. So I think I'm not as good as her in it.
As she comes in with stones for us.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. I would say that my trait that I have from my mother is writing. My mother, I found letters, I found my mother's high school, they used to have the autograph books. And I found my mother's yearbook and all the different comments that the people who knew her at that time. And my mother was a pen pal. So she had pen pals. She wrote people all around the country. When her friends would go off to the service, she was writing them letters. Like, all of this evidence of her writing. And my mother, even today, she is such a unique, caring person. My mom is always thinking like light years ahead about the treasures that she wants you to have. And one of the things that she has done is she's written us letters. I found letters. And she probably doesn't know I found them. But she wrote all of us letters. Like, she has a notebook for everybody where she's writing her thoughts about just you, experiences, things she wants you to know. And she's been doing this for years.
Wow.
And so
great.
Because she wants us to have the legacy of her even beyond her stay with us. I think that's amazing. I think she's written some stories. We got one of her stories published. But she's always writing. She prefers to write letters. She writes everybody. She writes everybody letters. And so I got that part from my mom. I still write people letters. I still send greeting cards to people. Just that. And I don't know that my mother has the deeper insight into writing. Everybody knows that whole scripture about write the vision and make it plain, right? it also says write the vision on tablets. That means it has to be written on something. It has to be written to activate spiritual principles. And so my mother is always activating spiritual principles. And whatever she's writing is always, almost always good. It's intentional. It's uplifting. It's healing. But that's what she's activating whenever she's writing. And so I pick up that trait. I think I have the deeper insights because of who I am and how I've been raised to have the space to grow in this way and the support to grow in this way. And that came from my mother as well. So that's one of the traits, one of the gifts that keeps giving. It's that gift that keeps giving. And I'm so grateful that my mother helped open that pathway for me to writing and understanding that there's a deeper spiritual connection to people who write and the intention of writing. So keep on writing, you writers out there. I hope, I hope your mother is listening in, and that if she calls in, this is a big plug, if she calls in, that she'll call in with one of her poems. She's an amazing poet. She is she has, I can't even imagine, there's a number. Right.
Wow. We counted them because we're in the process of helping her put them into, it's a series of about 12, and the last count was 720, but that's missing.
I'm sure.
Some.
Wow. When did she start the poetry? Before you were even born? Okay.
I really don't know. I think it started, she could have been writing and I didn't know. But I know for the last 25 years, based upon more than that, based upon the dates, because she always puts the day and the time that she wrote it.
Yeah.
So I know I saw some from, I think, 99.
Wow.
And it could have been previous to that.
Right.
So when it hits her, she just writes. So, finding them on little pieces of paper here and notepad over there.
Right.
Right.
So that's a plug. So if any of the Bingham family is listening out there, please encourage her to call in and share a poem with us. If not, we're just going to schedule to have her on the show, and we'll have her. We'll have her come and read her poetry. Oh no, because we'll all be. Look, I got my hair stand up on my arm already. We'll all be set off. So we're gonna extend that invitation for her to come on. Let's have her come in May.
Okay.
Let's have her come in May, and we'll have the show around.
And that's around the corner.
Yeah. So, look, this is our producer, so we got that on the agenda.
Yes,
we got it on the
agenda.
All right, that'd be awesome. All right, so this is the last question. It says, share one significant lesson from the woman you are today to the person you were 20 years ago.
She looked at me and I'm 28.
I'm like,
right. So come with it. Right.
I thought the same, Jade. I'm like,
She looked directly at me like.
Right. So what would you tell yourself 20 years ago? A lesson that you learned that you would tell them so they can anticipate this particular choice or time where you would be able to implement this or prevent something.
If you asked me a couple years ago, I would have said definitely I would want to tell myself a lot to prevent a lot of things from happening. But now that I'm older and seeing the bigger picture, at 8, I would tell myself. I'm laughing because at 8, I just thought I was so grown, and and I think I would be able to comprehend and tell myself give yourself grace for the lessons that you go through. The biggest thing that Dr. Heather is teaching me is take the judgment out of whatever you do or whatever is going on, that you will find balance in that growth and your missteps. You will find the balance. So I would tell my 8-year-old self to give yourself grace. Take the judgment out of your missteps or the decisions that you make, and continue to do the work to love on yourself.
Blessings.
That's so good.
Chantel.
Yes.
Look, we're going with the younger
So you,
folks first.
so you would be how old?
8.
Okay.
Same. Then to now, what I would tell myself is the moment is now. The time is now. Living in the moment, the time is now. I feel like I spent a lot of my childhood years just looking at or thinking about what the future was going to be and what that looked like, because we all want to be successful. We all want to make it. We all want to make our parents proud. And I was the only child. So I felt, a level of responsibility to be able to make that happen. So I found myself just kind of thinking in the future about, I got to do this. I got to do that, this. So just take a break. Take a breath. The time is now. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy now, and not try to, be so, I guess, caught up on the future and what that has to bring. Just let every moment just take its course because it's necessary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Thank you.
My aunt.
She's talking about going back. When you say, I'm visual, so when you said, 20 years ago, I'm thinking about, how on the phone when you have to pick the dates, and I'm like, I haven't got to my age yet. Okay. So the thing that I think was probably my biggest lesson 20 years ago compared to now was that now I know how to let everybody have their journey and whatever that's going to look like. When you're younger, and then with your children and my grands, sometimes we think that they should do a certain thing, or or you want them to be this and you want them to be that. I don't voice it, but I had to learn, let everybody have their journey, whatever that's going to look like. It might be painful. It might cause them to have all kind of challenges in life, but they have to have their journey. I don't know what their walk is. I don't know what their calling is. I don't know what their passions are. And so how can I tell them that they should be doing this and they should be doing that when they don't know and I don't know? I don't even know what mine is all the time. So how can I tell them what theirs is?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then when I realized that, just let everybody have their journey. Let them walk their walk, whatever that is. It just took this 3-story building off of my shoulders.
Wow. Absolutely.
I
It
needed
seems like
that.
we have a caller. Caller, you with us?
Yes, this is Evelyn.
She heard us. Evelyn! Blessings.
Hi guys.
Hi. I'm so glad you heard. Did you hear my picture? Or did you actually hear it, or you just feeling me?
I am so nervous to be on a call.
No, you with family.
You're doing great.
You're with family. Are you you're answering the question? Or are you going to give us a poem, or both?
I don't know. I'm looking for a poem now.
Okay.
Aww.
All right. Oh, so we're on delay. So I hear my aunt talking in the background.
Yes, I do. Okay, I'll turn that down.
Okay.
Okay, what have we got? We were putting them poems together. Sheila just is going to pass me one.
No
Okay.
problem. Take your time.
Did you hear the part about you coming on?
No, I didn't hear that.
She invited you on in May, which would be perfect because it's the month of Mother's Day.
Yep.
Okay, well,
I'll pick you up.
okay. I'm going to read a poem to you real quick.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. This is this was done in Sunday, September 9th, 2005. It's called Surprise. As I passed the mirror this morning, I was taken aback and shocked to see the reflection of a little old lady peering back at me. I wonder how long she's lived there, this vision that I scanned. Although there were resemblances of me, looking like her was not what I had planned. Her eyes were narrow, vision was dim, without her glasses, not wide and open and optimistic as once they used to be. And if the eyes are the windows of the soul, then what has become of my me? Lines and wrinkles are now appearing, where smooth and supple skin used to be. Here's hoping the flaws I mentioned before are not as visible for others to see. Although face and figure may not be as youthful, and limbs not as agile as they once were, still my mind is open and still youthful, and I still feel able to tackle obstacles when they occur. Thank God I am wiser, but definitely not wise-end. The years have been kind to me all in all, and though I may have passed through the spring and summer of my life, mirrored surprises and all, I am enjoying my entrance into fall.
Woo! Oh yeah, you have to come on. Sure. You have to come on. Yes. So we're gonna set up that day for you to come on and share. This is your legacy. This is your legacy, and it is our inspiration. So we need that. We need to have your voice, and I can't wait till your book is ready. We're gonna promote your book. We're gonna make sure every household has it.
Wow. And I might add that the poems began in 1997. It was following a women's spiritual retreat at the Mother House up in Monroe, Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was when I got back home, because this was a weekend trip. And when I got back home that Sunday night, that's when the poems began, the dreams and the thoughts.
Wow.
So
thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's going to be a great show.
Yes.
It's going to be a great show. Thank you for sharing.
You're more than welcome, and wishing love to all of you today on this Good Friday.
Yes, thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Look at that hair standing on my arms. You know what? I think this is a great time for Jada to introduce your box.
Okay, so I got like a download from God about like 2 weeks ago. And it is concerning just women in general and how sometimes we carry so much and we don't know how to release because we're just constantly going. So this is it's the launch of my Rise Healing Kits. So this is going to be, the box is going to include a journal, a facial mask, a candle, some affirmation cards in there for you, some teas for you to just kind of rise and reflect and take space for you. We know that as mothers, as women in general, we carry so much and we feel like we have to just constantly keep going. And this is for you. This is for us to take a break and really heal ourselves, because if we're not good, if we're not in the right space, then we can't help anybody else. So I'm so excited about this because I know that this is God giving me this download to share this, like just like a token of love to like help heal and bless somebody. So you guys can get it for your mothers, for yourselves. So it is inspired for the Mother's Day, so hence all the pinks and the greens. But whoever you feel needs this, please reach out to me via social media, or I will give you a number to call in a second to kind of place a pre-order if you want to do that, guys. But for sure, let me know. It is just like a token of love that I'm trying to do, for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you. And so we have a caller, but I also want to offer this challenge. So we are going to sponsor one of Jada's boxes, and we're going to give that out to one of our callers today. So, yes, thank you, Jada. I know we have a caller on the line. So we're going to take this call, and I'll give some terms around how we're going to gift this box. Yeah. All right. Hi, caller.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
You have on the line. My name is Dasha, and I'm actually my aunt's daughter.
Ooh.
And you have
Hey, Dasha.
Tamia. Hi. You also have Tamia, my aunt's granddaughter, here with me.
Hi, Tamia.
Hi.
You know that's punkin.
That's my
Yes, right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break the code. All right. I'm ready. Are you guys coming to share one of your stories? What are you sharing with us today?
I think I just wanted to do it overall. So
Okay.
I'm gonna combine it from my perspective. So going back 20 years, 20 years ago, I would have been pregnant with my daughter.
Blessings. Wow, she's
Yeah.
20?
Mm-hmm. Should be
Should-
21.
21?
Yeah.
She'll be 21. And I remember being so nervous to tell my mom I was pregnant. And the interesting thing is that my mom, when I found out, my mom was away at a silent treatment, a silent
Retreat. Yeah.
retreat, excuse me. And I had not spoken to her probably three days. So I had not had an opportunity to tell her that I had taken the test and that it had come out positive. She had been gone. I found out while she was away. And they had gotten an opportunity to take a break, I guess, and check in with family just for safety reasons. And she called me and I said, "Hey, Mom," I was playing it off. And she goes, "Hey." I said, "Girl, I got something to tell you." She said, "I already know. I was calling to tell you. I had a dream you're having a girl. I had a dream of a closet full of all pink clothes." And I just was, "Oh, that's crazy. That's my favorite color." I was so shocked. And I just busted out crying. And she said, "You're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. It's going to be all right." And it has just been that. All right. It's been, she has been
Blessings.
a beautiful, she's a wonderful young lady.
Yes, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I am just blessed to come from the stock. Evelyn is my grandmother and Tamia's great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm holding back tears because it's like,
Don't.
Look at that. You got that tail in the studio crying
Oh
too.
man, like
it's hard not to show emotion. My mom has been the most selfless, non-judgmental example of a woman, and that's where she came from. She's always allowed me to make my mistakes. She's never pointed the finger. She's allowed me to fall and fail, and she's been there to help. I would not know what to do without you, Mom. And my daughter loves my mom. We are the terrible threesome. We go everywhere together. Sometimes she invites herself. Me and my daughter can't have just a mommy daughter. It's a grandma mommy daughter at all times. I just want to tell my mom, I appreciate you. I am so proud of you. I am so blessed and gifted to have you and to have my grandmother, and all the women in my family are great examples of womanhood. And I say that to say womanhood. My mom used to always tell me there's a difference between a female and a woman. And I come from a wonderful group of women. So I just want to thank you, Mom, for everything you do. Don't discount what you are, because like they said earlier, you don't know who's watching you, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit. So just keep going. And I'm going to stop talking just in case Tree want to say anything. I'm ruining it.
You breaking my cool code.
Like, we don't have enough tissue in
Like
the studio.
what?
I'm just saying that. We don't have enough tissue in here.
I think my mom has definitely. I mean, I don't think that there's much else that I could say. My grandma really is like my best friend, and not only am I thankful to be able to still have my grandmother, but have such a great grandmother as a role model. I mean, she has really been one of the major support systems throughout all of the changes and trials and tribulations in my life. She is one of the people who helps me feel steady. You know, I'm sure you guys know she's so calm and level-headed, and even in situations where I feel like I don't know what to do, like I'm just losing it, she helps me kind of ground myself and stay in reality so that I can handle my business. And I feel like in a lot of ways I'm just like her. I kind of developed some of her calmer tendencies, and I really take a lot of her teachings to heart. And I think her being the way that she is, so kind and so forgiving, and she's so careful, not in the sense of being overly cautious, but careful in the sense of being aware of how what she does affects the people around her, even you know, in the sense of not knowing how what she does affects other people, and being aware that that is a part that exists in all of us. There's parts of you that people, you know, that you might not realize or other people realize, you know, affects them. And I feel like it's I take it as a high compliment to say I'm just like my grandmother. I mean, people tell me I look like her all the time. All the time. And being compared to her, to me, is one of the highest compliments. I mean, to say I'm just like her, you're so welcome. To say that I'm just like you, I mean, I wear that with pride. So just know that your legacy, your teachings have literally made me the person that I am. I mean, and again, every single day, the way that I treat other people, the way that I talk to myself, about myself, you know, the way that I treat myself, I contribute it all to you. You have given me the lessons of how to be not just in the sense of working, but mental health as a well-rounded person. So I give you all my thanks for that.
Blessings.
Both of you all have been the light of my life. Seriously.
Aww. We love you. We won't hold the line.
I love you more.
We love you.
Right. Listen, next time you guys call in, you need to give us a warning. We need more tissue.
I know, right?
We need more Kleenex in the studio.
Broke all the cool points.
Thank you so much for sharing that and sharing your mother's stories, your mother journey. It just happens to be with my sister standing next to me. So, yeah. And that's so funny. It's funny when you think about it. We go back. We're beyond 25 years. We're beyond 25 years. That's crazy. We're talking about going back 20 years to 8-year-olds, which is a blessing. So that same inspiration that you are and you would give yourself is the same inspiration that you guys are putting in the world. Just know that. Just know that.
Absolutely. Especially at their age.
Right.
We're over 25. So you all are getting a head start that we didn't have.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
so to me, you have a greater opportunity to impact the world than we could ever do, because you're starting a couple of years earlier.
But you have the benefit of women like us in your circle.
For sure.
And that's even more important. It just amplifies all of us together. We continue to amplify the voices of women and what we're here to do and what we need to accomplish and how we are changing the vibration of the world. So we already see the need. And let me this is a quick interjection because I'm just going to make it. Regardless of what we see happening in the world, it doesn't change what's happening within us. It's like just being squeezed like a tube of toothpaste. People are being forced to make choices. People are being forced to do something. There is no room on the sidelines for those people who have gotten comfortable and complacent in letting somebody else step up and you step back. That day is over. Your voice is important, but I want to make sure that I share this. The voice that you put into the world and what you say and what you do is important. We have to shift the vibration of what we see happening, not keep buying into it.
Yeah.
All of the news stories about what's happening and who's doing it has nothing to do with the world that you, in your own mind, your thoughts and your action, is creating. If you keep jumping on those bandwagons, if you keep supporting and talking about the negative, that's your part in creating that negative. We need for you to jump on the wagon of the positive, the affirmative, of what you want to see, not what you don't want to see. So stop repeating the things you don't want to see. Stop posting about the things you don't want to see and post the things you do want to see. Activate your spiritual powers. Activate your spiritual gifts. That is the season that we're in. And so if you haven't awakened yet to that, this is the time to do that. This is the time to do that because we create with our minds and our thoughts. We bring it into the world in our words and in our actions. So what you're thinking about, you can choose and you can reset. If that's what you were doing yesterday, it doesn't mean you have to do the same thing today. So that's my interjection. That's the lesson. That's one of the many lessons that should come out of this conversation today. So keep thinking the thoughts that you want to do, want to see, and want to feel and experience in this world, not the ones that you don't. Don't give that the energy because that is what keeps feeding it. You want to kill it. You want to stop it. Use spiritual principles because that's a spiritual fight. All right? All right. So thank you all for sharing. I mean, this has been so super awesome, more than I could even thought about.
Absolutely.
All right, and so we're gonna. I asked my aunt to talk a little bit about some of the products that she has too. So just to give people an idea of this reset and this choice that we have, we're talking about how do we shift that, and then we'll just finish up with some of the inspirational journey of motherhood. Okay.
So when it comes to, I mean, we're talking about motherhood, so I'll just use it from this perspective. But the most important thing that we can do is work on ourselves. Physician, heal thyself. Your level of healedness reflects on the way that all your relationships go. So you can only parent out of the degree of your healedness, and that's a non-ending journey. So the product line that I have is more about an inward journey, introspection. So I have 4 decks of cards. One is called Me, Myself, and I. Those are questions that you ask yourself. It's a 2-deck set. There's a set called My Aunt's Memos. I gotta bring them next time. My Aunt's Memos, which are words of encouragement, insightful, things that make you go, And there's Shared Intimacies, which is 2 deck cards of questions that the first deck would be the introduction deck for people just getting to know each other. The second deck are people that are in a relationship, either committed or about to take it to the next level, potential marriage. Those are harder and more intense. And then there is the tie that binds, and those are questions that parents and children ask each other. I make spiritual bath salts, which are frequency salts, if you will. And when you take a bath in those, it's Calgon on 25. And I'm not just saying it because I make them. It was divinely given to me.
I'm trying to give you space. Go ahead. I'm co-signing, y'all. Y'all see me shaking my head. Yes, I'm co-signing.
I sell incense and crystals, sage sticks, all type of incense. So everything I have are spiritual products to assist people on their journey towards self-healing. Did I forget something?
How do they get to those products?
And I have a book called Messages from the Goddess, Memoirs on Life's Lessons. And so there'll be a set of memoirs that I've got 10 done. One is published, 10 done, and 15 in queue. And they're ongoing because it talks about things in life that really happened to me in my life, but they're lessons for the person, for the reader. Contact is, the website is relationshipfirstaid.com. The email address is relationshipfirstaid@yahoo.com. Facebook and Instagram are same thing, Relationship First Aid.
Okay. Jada, how do we get your products?
So if, I don't know if Chantel, you can put the flyer up.
Yes.
Thank you. So, like I said, this is like a healing kit. So what's included is, like I said, the guided journal, the scented candle, the affirmation cards, herbal tea, and it has this 2 mystery self-care treats that you get in the box as well. Linked below is the Instagram and Facebook that you guys can get them for at. And like I said, I am also, let me give you the number that you can pre-order, or if you go to the site, we'll have the number up there as well, but let me just give it to you really quickly. Sorry, y'all, should have been more prepared.
You have a flyer and a box. I think you're prepared.
So the number is 313-497-4422. Again, the number is 313-497-4422. So I am taking pre-orders. But like I said, it's really just like a token of my love. I know that, like, I am not a mother yet, but I know that just as women, we carry so much and we're holding on to so much. And I just wrote down what my aunt said, like, we can only build our relationships and have successful, thriving relationships to the level that we're healed at. And I'm always like preaching that, like, I continue to do the self-work, and I think it's important for all of us to give ourselves that space to do that. I think that we're so stuck in the survival mode that we're not able to sit down and give ourselves space, or sometimes we may feel like, and this may be me speaking from personally, we don't feel like we deserve that. Like, no, like Chantel was saying, we got to keep working, we got to do this. And I am like working against that at all costs, and that is why the Thrive Affluent brand was born, because we are not just surviving, we are thriving. So we are growing vigorously and flowing abundantly. So that is the brand and that is the movement. So make sure you guys follow, get the boxes, and we will do that.
Thank you. Okay, and so I put out a challenge. If we have another caller that can call in to give us our closing poem, please call in. The number is 810-560-0658. Again, that's 810-560-0658. So if you're out there listening, call in. We are down to 5 minutes. So I want to go through some of the insights around motherhood before we close out. That caller, we're waiting for you. So motherhood is often viewed as possessing unique spiritual gifts and strengths, including nurturing, protection, guidance, and a deep love for God. These qualities can be leveraged not only in raising children, but also in the broader ministry and leadership within a faith community. For consideration, and I think this is always important that we take in the information for reflection, nurturing and care. Motherhood is inherently nurturing, providing a safe and loving environment for children to grow and thrive. The nurturing instinct can be extended to others, offering support and guidance to those in need as a matter of instinct, our empathy, and or our deep personal beliefs. Sometimes we will bring others into our homes, we bring others into our environment because we know that some of the things that they may need or need in that moment, we can provide. And that's part of the nurturing and caring nature of mother. Protection and guidance. Mothers naturally desire to protect their children from harm physically, mentally, and spiritually. Varying levels of motherhood experience offers inspiration, guidance, and support to children to develop faith, even when it's not religious in nature. This protective instinct can be applied to broader leadership roles, where individuals are tasked with safeguarding the well-being of others. Motherhood is also leadership. Motherhood is also leadership. And when we talk about protecting and guiding, that is much the journey of a leader. You're either protecting the person, you're protecting the ideas, you're protecting the nature of the person. And we're helping to navigate those systems or those barriers or those obstacles or challenges that a person needs. That's what we do when we're in leadership. This is why in this season so many women are being elevated to that point of who you are supposed to be and where you are supposed to be in this time. Deep love and faith. Many mothers find a deep love and connection to God through the experience of motherhood, allowing them to model faith for their children and inspire others. This spiritual connection can be a source of strength and comfort, especially during challenging times. And it's nothing like when you're going through that you say, I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to believe God for this thing as I'm moving toward this thing. That's a really important model to give our children, to let them know that there is a spiritual element to the physical things that we're facing and we're enduring. I'm going to skip down because I want this one to be my closing point. It's the fruit of the Spirit. So if you follow this particular scripture, I think it's so super important. And when you look at who you want to be and what you want to model as a mother, I think this scripture is a really good one. So it's the fruit of the Spirit. That means together all of these things bear fruit. And so the fruit of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now, when you think about motherhood, the type of mother you want to be, the type of mother you have, the type of mother you've had, or the mother figure that you had. And so I do also want to point out that our mothers can include godmothers, aunties, teachers, counselors, leaders, women in our circles, our sister circles, women's circles, support groups. So when we think about this nature of the fruit of the Spirit, these are the things that draw us in often as women. When you have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, when you have those things, you are the fruit. You are the fruit in that environment. That means that you have the ability to nurture and nourish others. That means that your trust, that your wisdom, that your guidance and your knowledge is the fruit that you bear in the situations that you occupy. So I just want to thank you. We didn't get a poet in today, but we're going to look for a poet to join us. We're going to be off site out of the studio next week, our last Friday of the month. We're going to be on site, and so we're going to introduce some new spaces to you, and we're going to celebrate those spaces. And I'm really excited about that, but I'm not going to tell you where we're going. Not yet. You can go after we do our live, right? Okay, but I am Dr. Hetheru. I am your personal change coach and a village elder and a guide on this journey of our lessons for the journey. We are so happy that you came with us today. Look for us on my YouTube channel. Look for the show. Each host has access to their particular clips that we're asking that they're posting on their social media, because the lessons and the information that we're sharing is really insightful and necessary on this journey. It's not being said, it's not needed. We need this information. So I'm asking you to join me at yourinspiredjourney.com. That's one of the ways you can reach me and see what we're up to. You can reach me on my YouTube page, which is Dr. Hetheru, Personal Change Coach. And you can call me directly by phone at 313-759-7855. That's 313-759-7855. We are so excited for your journey. We're so excited to celebrate and uplift mothers and those potential mothers. We know that we have a work to do, and we're asking you to do your part. Thank you for joining us today, and stay clear.